Then the second chakra, when it is awakened within you, you have a special quality of creativity. Because when the second chakra is awakened, you are actually thoughtless. There's no thought in your mind. So you start looking at anything without thinking. You start looking at anything that is created without any ripple of thought in your mind. Like all that is created around the lake of your mind is completely reflected in that rippleless lake. And you see the complete reflection of that creation as well as the joy that is bubbling in that creation. So your creativity becomes tremendous. You start seeing things but not thinking about it. Now see, if you come to this hall and you start seeing something, you like it, then you start thinking, oh God, this is a beautiful thing, but how much it must have cost, and now how old it is it going to last or not, is it insured or not, all sorts of funny ideas will come to you. And you will never enjoy what it is. But supposing you have no thought about it, you just watch it, you just see it. What happens? The creation that of the artist who has created this beautiful thing, the joy of that creation that the artist had, who might be dead now, you start enjoying that joy. The whole thing can be filled in you with that bubbling joy that he wanted to put there with his own heart. And that's what happens because there is no thought. So the creativity becomes tremendous. But it's not only that the creativity is tremendous, but your techniques. For example, a musician can become a tremendous musician. People who have never done any work can become extremely powerful. We have somebody here from India. The other day he was telling people, because he gave one of the lectures, that I had never seen what is wood is. I did not know what was teak, what was other wood and all that. And he had no job when he came to me. And he said, now after realization, what job should I take? I said, you take to interior decoration. And he got a shock. He said, I don't know what wood is. How am I to take interior decoration? I said, you can start feeling the vibrations. You just do it on the basis of vibrations. And he did it, and he made a big money out of it. Because as I told you the other day, whatever is absolutely beautiful you think has nothing in it but has vibrations. It has a coefficient which gives you vibrations. Like Mona Lisa now. We like her Mona Lisa. According to modern standards, she cannot be a beauty because she was a very plump lady, an elderly lady. But today also, if you go there, you cannot see her painting. It's so crowded. Everybody is anxious to see Mona Lisa. And if you go and feel the vibrations from distance, you will get vibrations from. Because the coefficients of her body, face and everything is made so well that you get the vibrations. Now people are very anxious to create new ideas, new type of things and this, but these things do not sell. And even if they sell temporarily, they have no eternal values. So the people with this chakra enlightened start creating things of very eternal values, of universal values. Anywhere you take such a thing, you take it to India, you take it to China, you take it to Japan, or you take it to America, anywhere, any human being who sees that sees the beauty of the spirit, because it gives you joy in your spirit. So the pure art is produced through you. That's the purity, or I would say the holy art is produced through you. When you start producing that holy art, then you should believe that you have got an enlightenment on that chakra. This chakra has another capacity to transform your fat for the use of your brain. And it works very hard for that when you start thinking too much. And by that overthinking, what happens that you develop all the diseases of the organs which it has to look after. Like it has to look after the liver, it has to look after the pancreas, it has to look after the spleen, it has to look after the parts of the intestine and the uterus. So what happens that when you use this chakra only for the use of thinking and thinking and thinking, all these things go out of order. And one by one, you start developing diseases like diabetes, and then you start developing diseases of the stomach, and sometimes the spleen, and all other diseases which are very dangerous, as you can call the blood cancer and all those things, out of this kind of mad thinking. Now, to tell you that you shouldn't think too much, you shouldn't bother too much, you should not be wobbly, you should take things easy, be light-hearted, is not possible in the modern times, because we are slave of the watch. But what happens? That when you get realization, your thinking process becomes regulated. You only think when you have to think. You just go on thinking like horns coming out. You don't think like that. You only think when you have to think. And whatever you think comes from you, inspiration as such. Now for time, you see, my watch is always out of order. I deliberately keep it out of order, because the time is in your hand. Supposing these people will hurry me up too much. Mother, we have to go now, we will miss the plane, this thing, that thing. I said, all right. If you say, I'll go. I go to the airport, and there they find the plane is 3 hours late. Then they said, Mother, why didn't you tell us? I said, I was telling you, no need to hurry up. Why didn't you telephone and find out? If you had telephoned, we would not have been there earlier. So, you see, you start seeing that this time is best for this time is best for that. You don't have to become a slave of the watch. Like this, people become such slaves that they arrive at a point where there can be some sort of a wrong thing happening, or maybe that you reach the place and you have to wait for 4 hours. You have to do all kinds of arrangements to make yourself comfortable. Or sometimes it so happens that you quarrel with your wife, quarrel with your husband, quarrel with your children. Oh, we are getting late, we have to be on the time. All this madness comes to people because they have not got their realization. Once you get realization, you station down. You are very much at ease with yourself. You don't hurry others, and you don't trouble others. Like small things, how much we trouble by our worries. You see, human beings will go on saying, I am worried. But what's the use of worrying? Now if I tell you don't worry, you cannot stop it. But once the hole is made here, which we call the Brahmarandra is open, then there's a hole out of which the worry comes out. And then you just cannot worry. Even if you want to worry, you won't worry. Because somehow or other, you go beyond that nonsense of worry. In any way, mentally, I cannot convince you that you don't worry. But once you get realization, you will be amazed. You will be just enjoying yourself. Even if you are late, you are not going to bother about or trouble others. And you will find that you will be always in time for things, because there is a force. This all-pervading power of God looks after you. You start believing in it, how it works out. You won't believe how much it helps, how much it works out, how it can operate. It is beyond description.